Hello, everybody that's listening. Our growing fan base of, I think we've got 9 viewers now through the Danny and
Now?
well, recently when I last checked.
9 people who have lost their way and who are coming to us to know what life is all about. What should they do? We've got all the answers, every one of them, proven.
Exactly.
And with $1 million a piece, we'll tell you what the answers are.
Mhm.
But it's not about money, it's just
No.
token $1 million. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead. Somebody forgot to switch me off. Go ahead. You've got the remote. Go ahead, Troy.
So yeah, another episode of the Danny and Troy Show brought to you by Danny and Troy.
That's
And
right. We're the sponsors and the talent and the directors and the
exactly,
producers
exactly.
and the crew. What else? Everything else.
Script writers.
Keep talking, Troy. Actually, folks, Troy was talking about love. And since there's nobody there, Troy, nobody's staring at us and unwrapping hard candy in the front row. Why don't you continue talking about
Sure.
love, about loving everyone, this kind of tendency or inheritance or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
that generates what I will follow up with on a comment.
sure.
Because and not to leave that hanging, but I've been writing about shame and intimacy,
Mhm,
about envy and jealousy,
mhm,
and so I think that it'll blend very well with what I'm going to shut up and let you talk about.
Sure. Yeah. So we were just talking freely and openly, and we thought, okay, let's hit the record button, make another episode. And what we were talking about, how did it come about? Some you were Danny was saying that I can't remember what. Yeah, but anyway, let's skip that bit. But it came to the point where I said,
Troy's
okay,
on the spot.
I can
Troy's on
connect
the
with
spot.
this. No, I wanted to give some of the prelude towards it, but all I can remember is what I was starting to talk about. And what I was talking about was how I noticed at a certain point of my life and being connected, well, either meaningfully or not meaningfully, around the time that I went to Bhutan and spent some time, a lot of time actually just contemplating. Of course, I was working, but I also set a strict ritual for myself to meditate every day and to enjoy what I
Troy, you're not
had.
making any sense. Get to the subject.
So
Troy as a love hydrant. That's what
that's
we're
right.
talking about.
I found the inside myself an overwhelming abundance of love, and that would naturally project out of me. And when I'd meet people that I'd only like seen for the first time, of course I'd need to have a conversation at least, but I'd felt like, wow, I'd fallen in love, but not in that, kind of
Hi. Hi.
aspect
Bye. Bye.
of, even wanting to spend the rest, not wanting to marry. That's what you were saying. You said something about marriage. So yeah,
I did.
you were talking
Oh.
about marriage, and that sparked me on this aspect of saying, okay, yeah, it wasn't in the aspect that I wanted to marry them or spend the rest of life with them, or even spend the next day with them, but it was like I could feel an overwhelming aspect of love, similar to the experience I had with my first wife of being in love. And yeah, that's how I kind of went about it for a long time. It's just like I loved people that came into my life, and I expressed that love. And then, yeah, it kind of, like you were kind of putting on the acting show, it kind of got to like that. It was like what's wrong with this guy? He's so lovely. And, and people started to think, oh, maybe there's something else. Or what is he, really thinking? What is he after? And, but then, yeah, when I got developed into another, well, I believe, a serious, real relationship that I did want to spend the rest of my life with this person, it became something that I needed to just acknowledge. And now I do still have all this love, and I can, you know, give that away, but I'm more, I guess, controlled and of who I give my love to.
So you're like a light, you know, and you're on all the time. And when you meet someone, your light shines on them
Sure.
and you see them, in your own light.
Okay.
And I don't think there's anything wrong. I hate that word wrong because nothing is wrong unless we make it wrong. But let me read this to you, not to horn in, but I don't have anything to say that I wouldn't say in what I wrote today.
All
It's
right.
not perfect. Matter of fact, I'm trying to get a handle on it myself. But let's just see if without being egotistical or whatever, I think there's something in here that we both are involved in at the moment
Okay.
with our red light. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
And I started thinking about a friend that I have, and I asked myself, being lost, I need a light to find my way.
Mm.
What is it like to build on happiness? So your light shines on someone, you feel this sensation of happiness, right? And here we go. First draft. Let me just read this thing.
Okay.
Estranged from the object of my affection. I am not drawn to spend every waking moment and every ounce of energy that I have on that object of my happiness. Some choose as an object of their affection, happiness. Some others, money, a new car, vacation, and many others. I choose the animated version, one that is not trapped in my mind. It's a bit tenuous, mind you, to choose a person because we are not in control of them. We love them for who they are, someone we can see as different than we are, intriguing, vital, energetic, all those things which are an enjoyment to witness and anticipate, all that occupies our minds, thinking of the time when we shall be together and witness the material and the combination of energy fields that keeps us together in the ethereal sense. I'm taking yours a little step further, I think.
Okay.
We are free and comforted by seeing them in our mind's eye. Here, she remains pure. I'm not putting her on a pedestal. I am not idealizing her. I am enjoying her rather than lamenting that which can best be satisfying at the moment. I can cover her in cream. I can watch her walk. I can follow her as she moves. I can hear her voice. I can make no mistake. Why shouldn't I idealize this moment? My mind unrestrained. I am not hindered. I am not courting frustration. We are, in effect, that which we were previous to meeting each other, except that we have a mental object that we can think of and share with. I am no longer longing to meet someone or wishing that the problems I have had would see a new light and that which I spent tons of energy on would somehow resolve itself in my favor. That was circular, as in whirlpool. Its metaphor was a huge sucking sound. And for me, I'm going a step further than instant infatuation or whatever. And I would like to ask you, is that something, are you in love with yourself, Narcissus,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Are you seeing, are you projecting on someone without even knowing them, like they're a blank screen, your light, which is reflected, and you're seeing, under a microscope, all those things that you love in someone without knowing who they are.
Hmm.
And in this distant relationship, I, I don't want to be around somebody I just, submerge myself in,
Sure.
because I've got stuff to do. And it always seems, not that I'm a failure, it always seems like it always ends up in the same place,
Okay.
I think I overindulge in what you were talking about because I share that with you, right?
Right.
Is
Sure.
that like now, the other day, I had someone say, I love you. And I said, uh, why? Right?
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen each other in 9 months, right?
Right.
But what I really enjoy is not trying to get someone to love me,
Hmm.
but enjoying myself without turning all of my energy and attention on someone else, which I enjoy doing, like you do, I'm sure, right?
Sure.
Drowning in love or whatever, all these metaphors, it seems like we're being guided by some external force that is making sure that we get involved in all the wrong things and in the wrong way,
Okay.
right? And then,
Yeah.
oh, all you need is love and all that sort of stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
somebody shut up, just shut
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Let me manage my life without thinking that if I'm not in love, I'm not human.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, one aspect is like what was coming to mind is what you see in others has to be in you. So otherwise you don't recognize it, or it won't even um, acknowledge. So a lot of this is one of my beliefs, and I know as I've kind of read what others been saying, I resonate with this, is that whether you get annoyed with somebody or something about them is yeah, great. It's because there's something inside of you that has that trait as well. Just say like, yeah, I'm struggling to find a simple solution that kind of, I mean, a simple example that I can bring to the table. But let's use love. So when I have love inside me, and if there is just a small uh, spark of love in somebody else, I see that.
Response,
Yeah,
right?
and then that kind of builds up inside of me, and I guess this is why in some ways when I was in this state of abundance love and going around and kind of seeing all these women, that they would respond as well because I could see that spark of love. I don't know
You're
whether.
you're giving them attention.
Well,
They're
yeah,
responding. They want
that's
more attention.
exactly, yeah. And then it was like you use the word light, like, but let's use the word flame. So I had a flame of a candle lit inside of me, and when it was brought to another candle, and that candle uh, being unlit, I had enough love to light the candle, and then it would spark something continuous, and then more candles inside the one person could even be lit.
I can tell you the danger of that, which happens to me almost every single time, and I should learn something from it. And I hope I am, especially with this maintaining this distance without thinking it should be greater. And that is And maybe it's a trap for you too, if it's a trap at all. But I find myself showering people, maybe even drowning people in attention and everything. I give, and my sister said this happens to her too,
Mhm.
is that, you spend, you're feeding the fire.
Right.
You're throwing gasoline on everything, and
Right.
people are consumed in flames
Right.
because of, you are the sole object of you. They are the sole object of your attention.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, years later, in some cases,
Mhm.
you realize you're tired,
Right.
and that you're you're not getting anything back that you want, because and it makes perfect sense, because they don't have to do anything, because you're doing everything for
Right.
them, for
Right.
yourself, for the couple, everything.
Mhm.
And then you get tired and you start wondering, when are you going to give back? And they're sitting there going, la 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 la, Troy, give me more, give me more,
Yeah.
give me more. And it's like, Troy, what's wrong with you? And you're thinking, hey, wait a minute, what's wrong with me? There's something wrong with you, because you're not giving me anything. I never knew I had to, because you were enjoying giving it to me. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to stop. And then you stop and everything dries up.
Right. Right.
And they say, boy, that Troy, he's an asshole. He let me down. He stopped giving. And so
Mhm.
it's justified. And
Yeah.
you're thinking, I did it to myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And my mother used to do that. It was like every time her husband, whatever, she was running, here's a napkin, here, you need another drink. Here, is it warm enough for you? Is it cool enough for you? Would you like something to eat? And this guy ended up being, I don't know, a marshmallow. And then she got
Right.
so frustrated with him because he never did anything, because she was doing everything for him.
Mhm.
And she was so accustomed to doing it
Yes.
that in both of our minds' eye, it was like, we can both contribute. It doesn't have to be one way.
Mhm.
But the other person, and maybe this is what happens in my case and a few others, is that, you're angry because you expect everybody to be like you. Not you, but, one expects everyone to be like oneself, right?
Mhm.
And it's
Sure.
like, no, it doesn't work that way. And when you meet someone, Troy meets someone who showers them, and all you've got to do is languish, in all of this love and attention, maybe it could happen to you,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Particularly, it ends up being a game when somebody says, who's going to say I love you first? Right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Gotcha. You said it. Therefore,
Mhm.
now you've got to continue until I'm tired of it,
Mhm. Mhm. Right.
or until you give out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I right?
You're
Am
totally
I
right.
right?
I see that. I mean, it's exactly how I see my first relationship, my first marriage failing, because I stopped giving those lights. I mean, yeah, giving that. Because, yeah, I mean, one, I felt it wasn't sustainable. Two, I was exploring more things on my own and seeing, you know, deeper this aspect of, okay, give myself attention before giving it to others. And
Yes,
yeah,
you're
but
cheating them.
that really, yeah, got noticed and said, look, what's going on? And it ended my marriage after 23 years, which I think was, um, yeah, what needed to happen.
Long overdue.
Well, it was, yeah, overdue, but, and I opened the door for new aspects and new relationships and new opportunities.
Another
And
trap to get caught in, huh?
and then, yeah, something that, uh, we're talking about now, so it hasn't been forgotten. And, yeah, it makes that aspect or that possibility of not overdoing it, having it in balance. Yeah. And not
Oh, sure. Sure, you can do
trying
it
to,
this.
well, yeah. So with the analogy of candles, say we got like uh 5 candles inside of us, some are not lit, one's lit. So I can light one in another person and because now they've got two lit. It will come back and it will light two, mean of two more, and then, but you don't want to, yeah, light all their candles with your one, and then, yeah, I don't know, have 5 candles, and then, yeah, if they get burned up too quickly, then there's nothing
Oh,
but
yeah.
a,
They will. And
a
you know
pool.
what? You don't have an endless supply of candles either,
Sure,
right?
yeah,
And
that's right.
what you do is you light the next candle from the fire of the previous candle.
Right, that's the best way. Yeah,
Right?
don't burn the candles
Yeah.
at both ends. Is that the same?
You just continue the same damn thing, right? Using the same fire or whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I want to steer this towards something else. I don't think that we talked about this before, but it's about intimacy and shame. Did I talk about that?
We
No?
intimacy. We did talk
Intimacy
about.
and shame.
Yeah, we talked about that. That was an episode.
We did on
Not too
another
long ago.
episode.
Yes, yeah.
Good. Okay, because I've been dealing with that. So I go from intimacy and shame, where a person was intimidated. I think I can use that word in connection with intimacy and intimidation. A young girl, right, was assaulted by an older man, greedy son of a bitch. I never met him. He was dead when I came around, but I see the effects. And I started dealing with what the side effects of being shamed at a early age. And then I started sharing this with someone, and she said, well, maybe you can tell me what jealousy is. So I'm on the spot now, and it's like, okay, but it took me a couple of days to come up with something, reasonable. And funny enough, it was, and I'm not talking about the 7 deadly sins, because I think the way things are interpreted is a trap. I think we're in a big trap.
Mhm.
That according to the language, words mean something. And you throw religion into it, and it's like, okay, control mechanisms, and it's like, why? So I tried to deal with that, because I think there are all these things that are associated with it. And of course, Nietzsche, when he says you have to revalue all values for yourself,
Yeah,
don't just accept what people tell you, is of value, what you should do, the 10 commandments or whatever. I don't like commandments. I like suggestions, right? Don't
sure.
tell me what I have to do and then, tell me I'm going to burn in eternity. It's like, shut up, go away. This is not the 12th century. So I wrote a little something on envy and jealousy, and I'd like to read it to you.
Okay.
Everyone should own up to envy, because there is nothing wrong with being envious. It should serve as a guide or indication of what we could one day become. If we had a purpose in life, we could put up with almost anything to be able to achieve what we want. The world is out to ensure defeat, and unhappiness helps keep the competition low. To keep order and ensure obedience, many feelings are presented to be bad for us, that we must obey God. What God? To achieve life everlasting, happiness, etc., when in fact, religion does nothing to ensure our success or happiness and can only operate on speculation. Envy and jealousy are touted as evil or bad. I, however, tend to see everything as good. If there is anything bad in this world, it is because we make it so, not because it is so. Envy and jealousy are examples. Envy is an indication that something is absent in our lives. It is a desire to acquire. Sound like Jesse Jackson. Jealousy is a threat of loss or replacement. That is something I believe people should be aware of, not shied away from. Without religious side saddles, one might say that envy creates jealousy. Deficit creates fulfillment and desire. Everything works to ensure that we have what we want.
Okay. The thing I like about those words, envy and jealousy, is that you need another person. Like, for me anyway, I've never been envious of myself. I've never been jealous of myself. It's almost impossible to kind of feel that or see that inside myself. Of course, I can feel love in myself, feel happiness in myself. There's all these emotions and feelings that I can be inside myself. But when it comes to envy and jealousy, there's a second player, or more than it could be. Yeah, but it's more than one. And yeah, there is something special, and that's what we've been talking about, relationships, coming into contact with others, and yeah, being a light or being a candle. And yeah, and also the aspects of like, yeah, there is no wrong or right. It's just this, it's fine to feel envious. It's fine to feel jealous. It sparks action, and it can, yeah, bring about ways of projecting your light or your flame. And there's nothing wrong about, yeah, taking action.
Yeah, we need to stop beating ourselves up,
Sure.
right? Because, there's no sense in it. Why do you want to harm yourself? I'm not suicidal, right? I'm not masochistic or sadistic.
Mhm.
I don't look at all of these psychological, which I think should be called pseudoscience, right?
Okay.
Because it's not a pure science. Mathematics is not psychology, which I think, needs another 1,000 years, or just simply replace psychology with philosophy and
Right.
throw it out with the garbage. They keep trying to understand rules of behavior,
Mhm,
right?
mhm, mhm.
When I was doing that stuff, I hated it because you had to pathologize everybody.
Right.
Diagnostic statistics manual so you could get money, for treatment under some kind of government definition.
Mhm, mhm.
Well, I think government has overextended itself, certainly. And I would like to think I can govern myself. Thank you.
Mm.
Right. And I don't need somebody up in Washington, D.C. or anywhere for that matter telling me how to behave.
Mhm.
That's for them. That's not for me. I can manage it myself. Thank you. Now, please leave. And next time, wipe your feet before you come into my life.
Yeah.
It's just, it's hideous. And it's like inflicting habits on people and other people's values. It's like now they're asking the Pope about Ukraine. It's like, all right, let's ask the imaginary being what we should do. And of course, the only mouthpiece on earth that has the access, he doesn't have the sole access. If I want to, I can go into those imaginings as well and, throw myself at the feet. It's like, why? I'm an equal, right? I don't trust a God who always needs to be complimented all the time.
Mhm.
It's like, come on, dude, relax, take off the girdle. If you're even serve some kind of purpose, let me know, because I don't see it as the object of my curse. I can see that as in GD, right? Or DG. Or like we used to say as kids, mad dog backwards.
Mm.
It's just, Troy, I don't know. I guess I'm don't really care what anybody else has to say when I'm having enough trouble running my own show,
Right.
right?
That's the
And
thing.
the side effect of that in business is, like today, I get this, person requesting to join me on LinkedIn. And she's saying, I noticed, I think she was Muslim, or at least she was dressed like she was Muslim, and and had, Arabic name. And she said, I think that I see that you were, the CEO of Banco Afscuola, and that you're working with Seed out of Dubai, and I can really make a contribution to, your business. Please accept me. And she sent, a little note, and I emailed her back, and I said, what are you going to do for me? Well, I'm going to enhance your business. And it's like, okay, this is, like the Art Linkletter show or something. And I was like, okay, how?
Mhm.
Well, you see, I can promote, and it's like my final response, to which she hasn't responded thus far, is, have you even looked at my profile outside of, being wowed at what I've done in the past? And I can tell you, the second story about all that stuff too, right? Because it's still vivid in my mind as to it ain't all just glory,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
No, it's not. And I think people have some kind of expectations of things, like you and I were talking about. We expect there's some kind of formula people are operating under, and it most people try to be compassionate, try to be helpful, and it's like I tell some people I was with recently, I said, don't help,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Please don't help,
Mhm.
because every time you try to help, everything gets screwed up.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're not on the same mind frame. And here I am turning bad into good, like I'm some kind of alchemist or something, right?
Right.
Stop thinking so negatively, so in such a life denying frame of mind.
Mhm.
Let's see everything as good. What do you think? The same way, I made the suggestion that, okay, let's take all those resources that we are squandering on war and apply it to music.
Right. That would be,
Or
yeah.
you choose. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good
Transformation.
too. You choose something possible, probable, something positive,
Mhm. Mhm.
not, we're gonna bomb you, or dirty bomb, or, HIMARS, or just weapons of lethality, killing.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, I understand that, sure. Let's go kill some ants. But in Bhutan and other places like that, there are people who don't believe in killing anything,
No, that's it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But for us, it's no problem. I got a can of Raid around here somewhere, right? Or Black Flag.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's kill some stuff.
Yeah.
And we go about killing ourselves
Well,
in these ways that we're talking about, by categorically seeking negativity.
yeah.
And I was in the post office 2 days in a row reading to the postmaster, friend of mine, Joe, about these things that I'm talking with you about intimacy and shame.
Right.
And I've got 2 sentences left. And in comes this local guy who comes in and he says, you can stop talking about your bullshit. Joe, I need a couple of stamps. And it's like, So that happened the first day, and and it happened again today, before I could even finish at the same point.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, it's not going to do anybody any good for me to react,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For me to yell back about how offensive.
Sure.
So I guess the term would be turned it inward in
Uh-huh.
thinking, what opportunity did that give me
Mhm.
to, I don't know, obviously, the way I see it, there was something wrong in context
Mhm.
of what it was I was reading to Joe, so that the forces that be would introduce this troll
Yeah.
to come into the post office, you know,
Yeah.
and say, I don't want to hear your bullshit. Joe, give me a stamp.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I need to edit this.
Mhm.
And you know, I felt, oh man, I felt like, yeah,
But
but
it's
I
good.
said, nah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Opportunity.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
said,
exactly.
it gave
Of
you the
turning
option.
something bad
That's right.
into something good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes work, a lot of
Exactly.
work.
Yeah. And yeah, but the thing is, there's a lot of opportunities coming like every day.
Uh,
You can, and this is, I don't know why the world is like this, but it just brings
mm,
a lot of, muck and sticky to get you annoyed or, on the wrong path, or if you feel like you're, put in a, a bad situation. But every one of those is an opportunity to turn it around and observe it. Feel like, okay, what am I going to do here? How am I feeling? And what's my response? Not
yeah.
that in itself gives you the capability to, what's the terms? It's not a reaction, but um, I guess,
Response.
yeah, response. So you can live in the world that way where everything's just, yeah, this, like, bam, 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 get, you know,
Yep.
reacting off everything else, or you can live in a way in the world where you can control, be aware of what you do feel is beneficial for you. Of course, it's fine for, and I feel the same way. And I don't know if it's um, a point where I've stopped caring or whatever, but I care initially about myself. So it
Hmm.
doesn't do me good
Somebody has to.
to, yeah, that's right. And in that same respect, other people as well. I don't care. I mean, it sounds heartless, but if they choose and are in that spot themselves, then they're meant to be doing that right now. And I can't get
Uh,
caught up
good
saying,
point.
"Hey, yeah, you're reacting. You're not thinking. Why don't you slow up and slow down?" I don't want to be this, yeah, teacher or preacher saying, "Oh, you're doing the wrong thing. You should be more spiritual." And look how spiritual I am.
Thank you for your help.
Yeah, but I can be myself. I can, have a light shining. I mean, not that I'm trying to make that light shine, but people have noticed and said, "Hey, you got a nice light shining." Not in those words, but general conversation.
I think, you know, when you end up with things like, in particular, Buddhism, right?
Sure.
It's supposed to be a guiding light, I think,
Right.
right?
I've heard that
And I'm
phrase.
looking first time in Bhutan. Of course, there are Buddhists everywhere, Buddhists in Hawaii, so on.
Yeah.
It seems to me like when something happens to them, like Christians, I know that you have to almost like go through the whole textbook to find the answer. And it's like the answer is in you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you're, what are you going to do? Go back to something that's written, okay, a couple thousand years old. So we're told,
Hmm.
right? I think they rewrote the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution as well. so that it suits things now. Because, you know, I had a guy call me up the other day, and a Chinese guy, and he said, I want to help. I want to help you. And I said, I don't need or want your help.
Mhm.
And I think I sent him into shock,
Mhm.
because it was like, how can someone not want help? And it's, well, I guess you'll figure that out. Right. And it
Sure.
was, I just, you know, I don't know. I felt like I just sucked the air all out of his balloon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, thank you, but no. Or everywhere you go around here, you know, people are quoting Matthew and Luke and John and all this other stuff. And it's like, please stop. Right. Because all you're doing is you're taking something from some place that you believe is authoritative. And there is no external authority. You are the source of authority. And I stick to that. Right?
Yeah.
Don't tell me what I need to do. It's like Socrates' last words, right? Mind your own business,
It's good.
and you won't be minding mine.
Sure.
Hank Williams in a song, right? So it, you know, it perpetuates. You got to find those. I hate this word, truth, but those things that work for you.
Exactly.
And even if it's risk taking, like saying envy and jealousy is good, then I got some Bible thumper in front of me saying, "The Holy Book says," you know, it's like,
Mm.
can you do that outside?
Mhm.
No. I was about to say I don't know, but I do know,
Mhm.
and I make my own way, and you know what? I don't gauge my progress in life by how much money it makes me. You know, if I want to make money, I just go make it.
Yeah.
It comes, you
Right.
know, and I
Right.
think it comes just as this, you know, sort of thing that just obsesses people all over everywhere. Um, I'm not obsessed with it, and I think, you know, because money is the result of good hard work. It's token, right?
Mhm.
It symbolizes value in some form, and then you just take that form and you acquire or utilize it in some way, because everybody recognizes that it has some value and it's universal, but it's not. It's not universal.
Mm. Well, maybe we should keep that for the topic in the next episode. My battery's
What?
dying. Hang on. Somebody
Okay,
kicked the plug out. My
you're working on.
There
Yeah,
we go. I've got a
somebody,
battery.
somebody like you.
Yeah. The
What topic are we going to talk about next time? Tell me again. I'll write it down.
the money and
Oh,
the
money.
yeah, what it
Ugh.
the aspect of yeah, what you're
How it
saying.
makes the world go round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Are we going to have to provide answers, or can we just talk about it?
Let's just talk about it. Yeah, like we always do. Probably raise more
Okay.
questions than we answer. But
Let's find 3-word definition for money that is
right.
totally distilled and exhaustive in
Sure.
its choice, right?
Sure.
3
Sure.
words.
Okay.
What is money?
Yeah.
And the answer cannot provoke another question. That's the
Oh,
only
now we
stipulation,
got you. Yeah. All right. Sounds
right?
good. Yep.
Well, let me get my Bible out and look it up.
All right.
Or I'll pray tonight for an answer.
Mm.
Actually, I think I have the answer.
Oh yeah, it's Powerball. That's only 2
Yeah, you see
words.
how simple it is? Spend $2 and make 800 million. I can do
Exactly.
that,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, what is today? Today is Thursday, right? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not in that big a hurry to,
Mhm.
I'm doing all right without 800 million, but yeah,
Yeah.
it would be fun.
Yeah.
Be fun.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll, actually, I think tomorrow's a drawing, so Mega
Nice.
Millions or Powerball, one or the
Yeah.
other, so
Yeah.
I'll
Maybe
just
we'll have news.
go out and win it so we can have something to talk about.
Great.
How's that sound?
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right,
Thanks,
until
man.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Charles.